Tactical off-road racing.
In the trial section, this is the Alpha trial section. We've got Matt Weeks in the course right now.
Hello and good afternoon and welcome to Pristine in mid Wales. You're joining us live for the final of Saturday, where we have basically all the cars from all the heats today running. Those that are still running, of course, they have 2 hours in which to do 2 laps. And it's kind of all to play for. We've got some very quick times. We've got some people pretty close at the top. Scores, live scores, obviously you can follow along at home. We will be putting the web address so you can follow the live scoring on the screen. It's still hot, still dusty, although the shadows are getting longer and longer and longer. But we're looking at seeing the first cars off the line at about 5. And we can see up there, Paul Rowland. So obviously I'm working on a different time zone, so I meant 6 o'clock for the start. Good luck, guys.
Cheers.
Right.
Yep. How's it been today?
Hot and dusty.
Very dusty.
Yeah?
Enjoying it. Nice flowing track. The winching bit's a bit grim now. Could drive it this morning, but now can't drive it. Just winching it every time.
So you have had to get out?
Yeah. Not keen on
that. Not an easy day for you then?
No, not at all. Each lap. Well, it's one winch. So this thing's pretty indestructible and he's all right behind the wheel, I suppose.
So it looks like you guys are first off the line.
Trying to get some clear air.
You got the clear air. So big advantage out there today, the clear air?
Yeah, definitely.
We've been eating plenty of dust today, so made up a few positions, I think. But see how the day goes. I think we're fighting it out with Jim. I think we're lying in second position at the moment. So.
Okay, and you got Jim, I can see down there, looking pretty keen.
Yeah.
So you just got to get your toe in and see how far you can get, yeah?
It's the winching bit. I think we're 20 seconds a lap slower than Jim, but he's a lot quicker up that winch because Alex, well, he's fit as a flea, and he can jump in the car and just go.
He's like a gazelle, isn't he?
Yeah, the belts in here aren't, designed to be jumped in and out of really quick, so lose time on that. Enjoying it.
Superb. Good luck, guys.
Cheers.
So there you have it, guys. First car off the line, looking to make full advantage of that clear air, blast up the hill. And we got enough few cars now lining up down on the start. So I believe we've shown you some footage from the drone that we've got just hanging around over the start line. You can see the stubble fields that all the pits are in. It is a fantastic setting that we've got here tonight. Valley, we got some steep climbs, dry, fast, flowing course. Drivers are really liking it today. So for people just joining us, I'll recap. We're looking at, basically, this is the final of Saturday that we're looking at here. So this is basically cars from both groups, groups 1 and 2. So earlier today, we were showing you footage. So we had a live of group 1 and we had a live of group 2, but this is both now combined cars that are still running. They have 2 hours in which to complete 2 laps. So they could literally do the first lap. We're looking at probably about 14. I've seen times of, I don't know, almost 10 minutes a lap when it's been clear. And so we're, the guys could do a lap, then come back in, have a cup of tea, and then go out in an hour's time. So it'll be interesting to see. There'll be a lot of strategy at play here. And I think it will depend how much these cars bunch together. We've got some quick people at the front here.
Huh? 3 minutes. Oh. Yeah.
How are we doing, guys?
Right. Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Right.
Yeah? How's your day been?
Mixed.
Mixed?
Yeah. We've had issues.
Right, more good than bad, hopefully?
Well, we've still got some issues. It means we can't go full chat.
Right. So you've got 2 laps to do in the next 2 hours?
Yeah. We're just going to see how that goes.
Right.
How the traffic is on our second one.
Yeah.
With the dust. The low sun's going to be even more of a problem.
Yeah. Let's get all the excuses in early.
Yeah.
So have you enjoyed it so far?
Oh, yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Getting around all right? Are you having to winch?
We are on that one section, yeah.
Right.
Now that the big boys have cut the ground and dug troughs.
Yeah.
These little tyres don't actually touch the ground. So
Right.
to winch.
So you're bellying out.
So they ought to do something really, otherwise it's just going to be, you're just going to have a log jam everywhere.
Right.
So it's not really
Yeah.
going to keep it flowing.
No.
But they probably won't.
I don't know how much they can do overnight for that sort of thing. If they can get.
They were the chainsaw doing it in about half an hour.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they were going to, but they decided not to. So.
Right. We'll see what's occurring with that then.
Yeah. It would be
Cool.
good. Just keep it all flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good. Right. Best of luck. How's it going, guys? Yeah. How you getting on? Putting your laps in each sort of heat?
Just keep putting in solid times. We're not quite fastest, but keep
Right.
going. Yeah. We're very, very consistent at the minute.
Yeah.
We're running almost the exact same speed for a lot of the places.
Right.
I think the last 3 heats, I think we were like 4 seconds different.
Yeah.
Over all 3.
Yeah.
Like in total, so
Excellent. So you're getting, how many laps are you getting in per heat? You're managing 3.
Yeah, we're doing 3 for each.
Is that all you're allowed to do, or all you've got time to do?
All we're allowed to do. So
Right.
Great.
Okay, and I think you've got 2 to do now.
Yeah, just 2 quick ones now. So
Yeah.
traffic
Are
light.
you going to try and bang them in sort of just one after the other, or are we going to go and have a...
Here, if it's queued up, we'll wait for a while, but get one in now. We're the fast guys, so
Yeah.
don't have any hold-ups.
Yeah, fantastic. Car going all good?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah? Excellent. Good. Good. You solved all the little sort of teething issues?
We hope so.
Yeah.
I think we're good now, so
Fantastic.
happens.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Brilliant. Best of luck. Take care out there. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, we've had an adventure today.
Yeah?
Yeah. The last lap. So we've got 2 laps in this morning, and then we have to come back in because
Time and belt tension.
time and belt tension that went.
Right.
So we managed to get someone to bring us a spare, so we got that fixed and sorted. But in the meantime, we missed our second heat, and then we went out the third heat, and we got 1 lap in. And that lap was a proper adventure. We had to winch places where we haven't had to winch before.
Yeah.
How much the track's changing. We had a puncture. We had a winch rope snap. That hit me in the balls, which was fun. What else? It was quite good.
I didn't laugh at the time.
Yeah, I'm alright now.
You're all right?
Yeah.
You're repaired? Everything's intact and...
They're still there. So
Right.
yeah, we gotta go.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Best of luck, guys. So the first car's off the line by the sounds of it. So we're just waiting for a few more cars to come in and stack up. So the first couple of cars have left the line. We think Jimmy's on the start line. He's just getting his minute countdown. How's it going, guys?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, all good?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Having a good day?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Best of luck. A quick word with Seamus then, but he's got in front. Martin Cole's let him in front, which he thinks he'll be a bit quicker. So the idea of this last heat is all the cars get to go out. I think it's still minute intervals, and they have a 2-hour window to complete 2 laps. So they can either go straight out, bang in 2 laps back to back. They can go out and do 1 lap, have a breather, and then go out and do another one, or they can hang back. It's up to them. So it's down to sort of tactics as to what they think is the best way of doing it. Do a little car tour. So there's a little diesel engine, 1.9. I'm not sure if it's Peugeot or whether it's VW from a Golf. A single 2.5 coilover, 2-inch threaded bump stock. Running 37-inch trips by the looks of it. So I think this evening all the cars have got to do 2 laps. They've got a 2-hour window to do those 2 laps. And they can choose when and how they do them, whether they do them back to back or come in and have a breather. I think if you start a lap and then break, I think that's still counted as one of your laps. So I think you have to actually complete, you start a lap and then complete it. So I think if you break and get recovered on your first lap, that counts as your first lap. So we might have a bit of a course blockage again. Recovery is trying to get out on course. I don't know whether that is just to be out there or if they're going to go and actually try and recover. But I think there might be a little bit of a delay. So there's a little bit of a delay. We're just trying to get recovery out there.
Okay, so you're joining me up here by the start line of today's final. We're just waiting for a blockage to be cleared. I'm hearing that somebody's got stuck in a gate. So we've just seen recovery go up. We've got Jim sat up there. I think he was second off third, I think, off the line. So recovery's gone up. Hopefully we'll be restarting very, very shortly. And we have Blackbird behind them. All quick cars. They're just chatting to one of the start marshals. We've got some chat going on. Some chat going down on the start line with the marshal asking about the Blackbird custom axles there on the front of their truck. Those guys don't miss a sales opportunity. And while we're here talking about axles, we'll always say thank you to all our sponsors, which we will also be putting on the screen. Thank you very much. We could not run this event without sponsors, and especially our main sponsor, Terra Firma. Well, at least the dust will have cleared by the time these guys set off. Clear air, which, as we heard earlier, is a great advantage. There is so much dust. There's hardly any wind, I can tell you that, and it is just, the dust just hangs in the air. So apologies again if you're just joining us on the live this evening. We're just waiting for the race to restart. We've got recovery out, clearing a blockage on the course, which is why everybody's looking quite relaxed here on the start. And we have Team Ireland just cruising up towards the start arch. I guess they wanted to get into the shade. So, well, we're waiting for the start to open again. We'll just recap on what's going on for people who might be just joining us. What these guys are doing. So we are actually on day one final. There are 2 laps to be done. There is 2 hours in which to do those 2 laps. They do not have to do the 2 laps back to back. They could do 1 lap. They could go in for a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and then shoot back out and do another lap. It's really down to, I think everybody's going to be vying for the clear air. There is so much dust out on course. Obviously, hopefully we can bring you some of the footage of the dust trails as these guys really open the trucks up across the top and the flat bits, across some of the obstacles and jumps. But you'll see that there's so much dust that everybody will be trying to play it as tactically as they can and look for that clear air. Everybody's been really pushing it today. We've had a few little tumbles. Everybody okay, back on their feet again. No dramas. But the course is getting quite cut up now. So I can imagine where the blockage is. There's basically a huge climb up from here. So first K, you're looking at about sort of a 200, 250 meter climb straight up. And we've got quite a gnarly section that the guys have to get through. And the top of it is now pretty cut out. It's just like a sandpit at the top. So I have a feeling after speaking to some of the drivers earlier on, that is our most likely culprit for the blockage at the moment. It's a lovely evening, but we sure could do with some wind. Just to keep the dust down and keep us a bit cooler.
So, somebody in front of us, not in a race suit, with a can on the go.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that means that there's
Yeah, we've had a good run this morning. Yeah, it's been great, to be honest with you. We've had a couple of really good runs. We did 2 sessions. I think we did 3 laps in both the sessions, and we were managing to be in the top 3 or something like that overall, which is great. But we've got an oil leak from the torque converter gearbox sort of input shaft oil seal area, so it's a bit catastrophic, really. I haven't got the parts to repair it here. We've got another event in a couple of weeks' time, so we could have possibly pushed on and risked it, but it could have been expensive, and we'd have taken us out of our next event in a couple of weeks' time. So we've had a great weekend. We're going to obviously hang around and watch the racing, but yeah, we're out for the moment.
You're going to call it a day?
Yeah, it's just
for today, or do you think you might give it another little whiz tomorrow?
No. I think we're going to load tonight. We've made a conscious decision that we're just going to stop now. So yeah, we've had a great blast. You know, we've done really well. The car's been working brilliant. The suspension's been good, the brakes have been good, everything's good, tyres, engine, everything's been good. The gearbox is working fine, but it's just leaking all this oil everywhere. So, yeah, we're just going to call it there.
Not worth risking it.
Not worth risking it. We've got other stuff that we've got to do the rest of the year. So
yeah,
and a full gearbox failure is an expensive, big problem. So we want to try and avoid that.
Just an unnecessary risk, really.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's so beautiful up there, and it's so open. The course, it's so good. The gap in between the markers, you know, the fact that you can go so fast. We've been really quick up there in some places, probably 70, 80 miles an hour maybe, I don't know, but you know, really well up in third gear. So I mean, our car maxed out about 90,
right,
95, and we've been nearly all of that. So
up there,
way over 70, which is
the timing sheets have been looking really good. You were well up there.
I think there's a good chance, really, if you get a really clear run as the course sort of, it's got easier in a lot of places. I think you might get down to a 10-minute. I think someone might get in the 10s, the low 10s over the weekend for a lap, which is great. You know, the dust is a massive factor. If you get unlucky and you're trading a car and there's dust everywhere, you're buggered.
Yeah, just does that lap.
It's just a nightmare because you just can't see. So you've got to back right off. But if you've got clear air, you can really go really well. I mean, the course flows really well. Everyone was a bit sceptical after the drive round.
Absolutely.
On Thursday with parts of the course, but as we knew, and Nobby had explained to us that it was an unknown and we didn't know what we were going to do or he was going to do. They've made the relevant changes, and I think they've made the right changes. it's super fun out there. It's
Yeah,
super
it
fun.
looks it.
Everyone seems to be really enjoying it. I know, all the guys are enjoying it. Whether you've got like a really, really fast car or a sort of pretty sort of average speed car, I think they're all having a good time.
Talking to Simon Ward earlier in his side by side, he was saying that there's some big ruts starting to develop, and he was having to winch more than earlier because of that.
The winch pull section, the super pull. Essentially, it's probably a 50-meter cut through the trees, through the pine trees, like a tree break, and there's 3 clear, decisive lanes that you can take. You've got 1, 2, 3. So you can arrive there, and if there's a car on lane 1, you can take 2 or 3. You can choose whichever lane you want. But in the middle of the route is where the trees have been felled.
Right.
So the tree butts, the stump and everything is still there because everyone's been straddling either side of it, and the dirt's been dug out, and now the stumps that were probably 6 to 8 inches sticking out the ground to start with are now over a foot out the ground. So that's making it really, really hard. But we've all got to deal with that same problem.
Yeah.
There's not any one of us who's not got to deal with that problem. So, it's fair's fair. There's 3 routes. There's plenty there to winch off. It's not like you can't have anything to winch off. It's just how the course has evolved. But that part of the course has slowed down. But there's other parts of the course that have got faster as it started to level the ground out.
Right.
Certainly the section, the Lumley's Lair section, I think we named it, where Alan rolled yesterday. That was it this morning. It was this morning, wasn't it? No, it was yesterday.
No, it was yesterday. It was prologue.
Sorry.
Yeah, he rolled.
It was in the prologue he rolled. But that section there was really, really, really gnarly. And now, because obviously it's been driven so many times, all the sharp edges have taken off of it. It's a clean, definitive line there. And it's really, it's very straightforward. Whilst the first time I drove it, it was a bit like, oh my god.
Yeah, we got some really cool drone footage of you, one of the drones chasing you down there, and then a left turn at the bottom, and then along the track.
Along the dusty track.
Yeah.
And it's like chalk dust. It's like white dust, isn't it? And it's really thick.
Yeah, but it looked really good on the drone. Yeah,
big trail of
he was struggling to keep up with you. I think he had to bail out towards the end. You were going too quick for him, but it was really good coverage.
I've been watching some of the coverage. We've got obviously we've got the TV. TV. It's like a huge monitor, really. In the gazebos down there in the trailer, so you're able to obviously all this footage that you're recording and putting out now on YouTube and Facebook and the relevant social media. Everyone here in the paddock can stand and watch it as well, so we can actually watch what's going out on the course, same as everyone at home. So
yeah, and because there's 2 groups, if you've got time, you get a chance to watch the other group, don't you?
You can watch the other group, and the drone footage is great. There are 3 drones out, something like that. 3 or 4 other cameras out on the course, something like that. I think, I don't know, but
there's 3. Yeah, we think them. We've got 3 drones out. They're not all necessarily all flying at the same time, but they're definitely out and about
all the time. So that's really great. It's better and better every event with you guys. So great.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. The radio communication's been really tough.
Well, it's a bit hilly, isn't it?
There's big bits of Wales in the way.
Yeah, certainly are. But I think it's great. Martin Cole, I think, just sat there talking to Nobby now. By all accounts, Martin managed to come across this place. Apparently he was doing a job for the landowner, spoke about the sport and what he was doing and what he was into and this, that and the other, and struck up a bit of a relationship with the farmer, obviously introduced Nobby and the Welsh team and what have you, and then however many months or years down the line we're here racing, which is great. New venue, it's brilliant, really.
It's an amazing site, isn't it?
Unbelievably brilliant. It's so good. It is really sketchy getting into the course up there. I was really dubious about it. I spoke to Jim as well, and Jim was a bit concerned about it, over how sort of fierce the terrain was getting into the course there. But yeah, we've all sort of got on with it, and it's levelled out and it's working out well.
Put your big boys pants on and got on with it.
Everyone was going, oh, it's going to be really bad,
yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But I think it's working out fine. So, great. We've got a new place to come and play. Heck of the weather. It's great. We've got no rain. Just don't have this in Wales. So I've never been to Wales and it not rain. But so well done to Nobby and Martin
and everybody. Yeah, exactly. Finding out, and just hope we, big thanks to the farmer, and hope we can come back again.
Yeah, no.
So
I think it's a definite that we're going to come and do this again. I know. Having spoke to Nobby, this is the first Welsh racing event, really, outside of the Extreme and the 150 and Dragonswood. I mean, this is, you know, a racing event. Obviously, it's not all like side by side, all off the start at the same time. There's no grid formation start or anything, but you know, we're properly racing against the clock out there, and you do get the chance and the opportunity to overtake other cars. So yeah, it's going really well. I think it's really, really good, and everyone seems to be quite happy. Got a lot of drivers here who've been driving in different formats and different formulas for a lot of years, and they all seem to be happy.
Exactly,
with
yeah. It's nice to bring so many different people together, and
yeah, and people who've been doing it a long time, if they're happy with it, then it means you must be doing something quite well. You know? So it's all good.
Exactly, and you know, you've got the old faces coming back, and you've got new people coming to it. It's what we need, isn't it?
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, off-roading in the UK is doing well. So
yeah,
and this is a small part of it. There's obviously loads of other events and loads of other disciplines, but yeah, a new race after the end of the Extreme, which has been a bit of a mega thing, really.
Yeah, exactly, and that's something new to focus on, isn't it?
Something else to move into is great. Yeah. Well, anyway, the cars look like
Sounds
they're starting
like
the line. I think Jim's on the start line. I don't know if he's just left the start line or he's just moved to the start line. James there is obviously next in the line. Yeah, that's all your fault. Well done, mate. I'm Cole there. Yeah, so they've gone off onto the site. I think that's James just going up into the site there as well. James there. So
yeah, it sounds like it. So the start is up in there. So they go through the start arch. They then just have a bit of a holding pen there, and then the start marshals send them up to the line, and then you get a minute countdown. Do you? You've obviously done it today, so
yeah. I mean, it was playing up earlier on. So there is like there's a red light. You then get the 5 ambers at the 5. It's 5 seconds away or something. You get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go.
Right.
For go.
Yeah.
But all the red and the ambers weren't working, and all of a sudden the light just went green. It was like black, and then
there
green.
was no countdown. You're off.
Like I say, it's the same for everyone. We're all dealing with the same thing.
So the second it counts down to 0, does that when your time starts, or do you break a beam?
No, it goes green and the time starts
on that green,
I'm
right?
pretty sure it does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they load you up as you go through the start arch in the holding area.
Yeah.
The transponder loads against the system there, so it knows who you are. Then it lets you go to the beam, and then the beam.
So you're
pretty sure that's how
right.
It works.
So your countdown is actually your countdown to the time starting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all pretty good like that. Yeah, he's loving it. He is.
Second event, I think, isn't he? Second event for that car.
He's had the car a while, but with that engine and the new gearbox
and the sort of the rebuild and rebody, as it were.
And he was really moaning about it yesterday, and not yet after the sighting lap, he was moaning to me. He was saying how difficult it was and how hard it was going to be, and it was all that sort of stuff. And then they've made the changes to the course, and today he's absolutely loving it. He was so excited earlier on after his first session. He thought it was brilliant.
A bit of barracking in the background then. So come on, Nobby. Everything's settled down.
Yeah.
Been a lot of work just to get it started. It's working out all right though, isn't it? It's working out really well today.
There's a few people who've been out to make blood again, but hey, it's thick skin comes back, done it rotten well. Yeah. This is the first time we've done it, we didn't know what to expect here with the heat and God knows what. As I said in many times, it was so great before we went for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, heat racing rather than like a long session format. Yeah, long session format would have been very nice. I mean, I've done 2 sessions this morning. 45 minutes of racing probably in that hour window. That's enough. You need to pick it. It's hard more. It gives you time to get a bit of respite. You get the next session to go, so you can get a bit of training with everyone else. Nice social aspect going on in the pits. Everyone's chatting to each other and what have you. So yeah, a lot of people have been the same as Rob's a bit on the engine to keep himself going.
Yeah, it's just all about progression as well.
don't criticise if you haven't got a solution like that. You know, why not? It's a good space to make it. You know, it's working out really well.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with how it's been out there on the course.
The attrition rate is a lot higher than I thought it would be.
I think the heat's got a lot to do with that. I think it's so hot. It's incredibly hot. It's unbelievable. And in fairness, I mean, it's not too bad down here. Literally on the top there, it is unbelievably hot up there. I know, those four marshals, they must be cooking.
Dave, chief marshal, has been around looking for things on the water, on the food, shelter, suntan water. That's nice. You know, spray on that level.
Squirting us with water there.
Yeah. You gotta look after them, but on top of that, anyway, 35.
Oh, it's all of that. It's 35 up. 35 up. And the thing is as well, is something else to factor into this. I mean, here's Mark Dean, put the standard one side. Mark Dean's just come across the line here. So I think he's the first car back, is he?
Yeah, yeah.
So first car back. Mark Dean's obviously had a bit of a flyer there. Nice to see him back out having his car rebuilt. But those marshals, we've all been having like an hour session and we come back to chill out and what have you. These marshals have been out there all day, so yeah, hats off to them. They take all the kit out with them. They've been out there all day, so it's really great to see.
It's one of those things that we just couldn't do what we do without them, can we?
We're
So
absolutely ruined without marshals.
Sometimes we don't give them enough respect, either.
Well, you've always done well for marshals. You end up with so many people who want to become a marshal. It's always a great atmosphere. It's always something to do. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people probably don't give the marshals the respect that they deserve. I love to give them away when I've risk taking my hands off the steering wheel. There's a guy, I don't know who it is because we go past him really quickly. When we come out of all the choppy section, you take the gravel track all the way back through the bottom.
Well, now it's down.
No, the main gravel track, not from the other side of the farm.
Yeah.
You know, where we cut out the wood section.
Yeah.
There's a marshal sat down on the right hand side there, and he's got a mask on because the dust is so thick there. It's really unbelievable.
So that'll be Dad Lemon.
And he waves every lap. He's got his arm up, and because we're on the corner, it's like I'm not sure I can take my hand off the steering wheel to wave.
Dan Seymour Smith.
yeah, sounds like Mr. Lemon to me, Mr. Lemon Senior.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ted normally was giving him a thumbs up or giving him a
Yeah,
wave.
he's happy down there.
He's loving it.
Yeah.
He's got his NHS dust mask
Yeah.
on because it's so thick. You
Yeah.
go past, and you look in the rearview mirror, and you just see this like wafted, and the wind is blowing gently into him.
It's like when those old
fair play.
kids' cartoons, you almost need a knife to kind of hold it. It's
Yeah.
that thick.
Yeah, the dust's incredible. But I mean, it would be like this if we were at Walters. If we were at Walters in weather like this, the dust
Do you know
there
what?
is horrific.
I think it'd actually be worse.
But there's this bottom track from where Sharpie rolled it back to the wood there. That dust is like chalk, isn't it? It's like real chalk powder, and it's so fluffy, and it just belches up. It just the dirt on the ground is so light. It's like driving through flour. It's like,
Would you like to describe fluffy dust?
it's like I don't know.
Well, come on.
I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's unbelievably thick. And it just sort of wafts up. I mean, we were trying to follow a car through it on our first session. We were, I don't know, 5th or 6th off the line. We got past a couple of cars, but we were obviously following somebody, and we got to that point of the course where we came down from where Alan rolled it, and we were only, I don't know, 30, 40 feet behind them, something like that. And they just peeled off because they had a bit of fresh air, and we just could not see. So I mean, it's just the luck of the draw, you know. It's how it is. This is part of racing.
But then, you know, you're looking at it, if it'd been a wet weekend, you know,
Well, it'd be horrific. I think it'd be worse in the wet. I'd rather have this than the wet. If we had this in the wet, we wouldn't be able to run this place through. You would never get up there. No. Well, you'd be there forever. Get up there.
It'd be a winch fest.
Yeah, it'd be a winch fest. It would be, and it's not what it's about.
No.
Are there parts of the site that you could use if it was wet? Can you bypass the steep bits?
Yes, there is, but we can't get to them.
Right.
So the main entry into the site is up the Wriggles there, and if we don't use that, it completely blocks the rest of the site off. We can't do anything. To have a racing line down that ledge there.
Well, you could get in
that wouldn't be funny.
You've got the gravel road that goes back up there. You could get onto the side from there, but that's the only other route. So you need one in and one out. You can't just use one of them, you know.
Then obviously that would take away the recovery aspect of it, and the transition for the marshals or for the media or for the staff to get around and do stuff.
Yeah, because obviously you've got to think. We need to make it sure that we've got a clear access road at all times for any emergencies or recovery and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, there's plenty of scope here. Lovely site. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. First race, yeah, say a race. This is our first kind of race, you say, compared to the 150. We came a long way from a Felix Lansuni 11 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah, we've come a long way since then, and it's all about progression as well. You know, cars evolve. You know, look at the cars that were competing 10 years ago. Would they finish this now?
I don't think my old car would have done. I mean, my new car would have finished it, but the old car wouldn't put up with that. I mean, he would probably have done some of it. I mean, he would have got round, I'm sure. But yeah,
you wouldn't have had the pace to it.
No way near it. No. I mean, and everyone said about this. Even, I mean, you know, Dylan in a TD5 was saying about it. The farriers as well. They're just loving it up through the valley at the back there because it's so open. You can really.
So can you imagine when we first got here and we had a look at this and that, and the farmer was talking, oh, I got a little dingle you can play with, and you just drive through the gate and you just look up the valley and you go,
it's mad, isn't it? Wow. Yeah. It's mad. It's absolutely mad up there. And I know the drone footage has been great. We've had the guy, I don't know who's flying the drone that's been going down by the hay bales, but I've been watching him do it.
They've all been swapping round really, and so all three of them have been out and doing bits and pieces. So you know they all want to go to different places and fly the fast bits.
Yeah.
So there's been some amazing footage. All three of them have, you know.
No, there have been. This is Jim back. So this is an absolute flyer. Now obviously Jim was sat on the start line for quite a while we were waiting for the course to be cleared. So he's had fresh air there. He's had a clear air run. He's got to be fast. It's got to be a fast time. That could have got him in the 10-minute zone. So that's stunning. So Mark's going back out now. He obviously wants to try and stay in front of Jim. He doesn't want to be.
So I think Mark Dean's been sort of tactically sat there, just trying to wait for a bit of fresh air.
Hold it up now. If Jim's got his race ahead on, he'll probably do the same. He might just hang back a bit now. Might be able to grab a quick word. Let's go and have a chat with the co-driver. Probably get more sense out of the co-driver than the driver.
Can't open the door, I might take the ice off, so you'll have to do with me. Okay, so car coming in, girls.
Just quickly then, guys. I'm guessing you had a clear run there.
Yeah, very nice.
You were sat on the start line for a while there, weren't you?
We were, yes.
I think you might have, I don't know, I didn't have a clue on the time, but that was quick, so you might have got into a 10-minute zone there. Oh, really?
We're still winching on the thing.
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah, I said those tree stumps are like they're huge for really done there.
Yeah, just catching on everyone. We're up winching nearly all the way to the top. Which lane are you go on that run?
We took the far left.
Yeah.
That's it. We're changing all the way, every single lap.
But it's good fun.
Yeah.
Fast.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah. It is good.
Yeah, good.
Right.
Let's get. Right, come on. Let's get out of your way. Well done, guys.
Hello. Wait till Jay starts pushing me and then I'll go.
So Jim's back in then after that. So that's Jim's first lap done. So he's going to go out and do his second. We've got James and Mike. Let's go down and have a quick chat with them.
Alright. You ain't on the dance route.
I know. You ain't going to turn this off briefly, or is it? That's alright. Just a little bit nice and talk to somebody without the engine rumbling away. Yeah. How was that?
That was fun. Yeah, quite a nice lap there.
got past us today, but it felt nice and hard.
I think that's quite a clear run there.
Yeah.
Because you were sat on the start line with Jim for a while, so Jim obviously.
Yeah, Jim was maybe a little bit faster than us, so it was nice. Nearly drove the super ball.
Have you driven it at all?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I've managed it once.
I was nearly getting up.
I've tried all three lines. We drove the right hand line once.
Yeah, we nearly got the right. It was sort of on the front bit and stopped. We would have got to it.
I'm sure we drove the right hand line once. Emma Jones drove it in front of us. And I was like, well,
I can't do
Corbett's
it now.
been laid down. So yeah, so we went for it. Anyway, so it's all good. Fast out there.
Yeah, fast.
Smooth.
Fast is all the cars out there.
Feeling the suspension to work now, I bet.
It's good out there.
Is it feeling good?
We're going to have a Andy Norwell at some point in the back to play for the back end. But it's not incredible. We've got that side of it.
Oh, but when you just come back towards the little bit, oh, it's a lovely thing. Yeah, great. Oh, well done, guys. Looking good.
Good tour. Nice tour. Nice to go out, feel like come back in. 5 seconds.
I think this is golden. The fact that you did this like a couple of minutes just to sort of chill out, take yourself on and breathe and go. There's obviously like not that format to do it. Quite really enjoying that. I think we that back again as well. Not that's difficult back in and then that's
Right, go out there flat out, but more like three laps of race or 7.
yeah. Yeah, we can look at that. Yeah. It's fine. It's a kilometre, isn't it? All the way up to the 120. It's a long ride. Well done, guys. Right, anyway, best of luck. Oh, they seem really happy with how it's going then.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Obviously, a pretty new car, James.
Just over a year old, I think the car is now. They're getting the glitches out of it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has new car glitches. There's no two ways about it. You know, I mean, Jim's proven. Jim's had new car glitches with his new car, his previous new car. I've had new car glitches. Everyone has new car glitches. Very few people manage to get a car working straight out of the box.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
Without at least a couple of problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
No, it's nice.
So Jim's flown straight in now. He's in there now. He's in the gully. The drone's over the top. So we should be getting some footage from there. James is on the start line. Mark's gone back out on course. So we've got 3 cars that come back in for their first lap of this session. So still a lot of cars out there. No side-by-sides back yet.
No, neither side by side.
Was there 2 that started this?
So Alpha Fab, Simon Ward's went out. Paul Rowlands went out in his new car, side by side, and Shabs went out as well.
Oh, so there's 3 out.
So yeah, so Shabs was the sort of the later of the 3. But
none back yet. It's
but
quite
none.
interesting when you think, oh, is that Seamus is back? Has Seamus gone out, or has he just come
No,
back?
Seamus is back. So Seamus has done his first lap.
So Seamus has done a lap as well.
Yeah. So Martin Cole let Seamus cut in front of him. So they've
Check that out. Just look at that. The dust everywhere. They're just blowing the dust off of these guys.
Seamus has got his Sunday best shirt on.
Yeah, he looks like he's just about to go for a meal down the harvester, doesn't he?
we think he lost his bag on the ferry, so that's all he's only got the one set of clothes.
Oh, here we go. Here we got. This is one of the other Irish guys. This is Barry O'Gorman. Apparently, Seamus said it's Barry O'Gorman.
So it's Barry MacGyver, isn't it? Is that who bought the Darren O'Gorman's car? Is that the one?
Is this why it's Barry O'Gorman?
Probably.
Right, I understand now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well done, Seamus. Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably what it is. Another car, Keys coming back in.
There you go, Keys back in. He's lost the spare this time, so Keys decided to take the spare off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's trying to sort of get around some of the vortex of the airflow on the radiator.
Right.
Also, he did explain that he's got nothing to change his spare wheel, even if he has a puncture.
Oh, okay.
No tools with him, so instead of carrying 70 or 80 kilos around with him, he might as well just go.
So do we think it's a good idea losing your spare or not? Surely if you've set your car suspension up with a spare, losing 80 kilos hanging out over the back end is going to has an effect.
I think I think a lot of people argue a lot of ways about it. I mean, I set my car up to run without a spare.
Right.
With suspension, so I set mine and do it without the spare.
Yeah.
And if I've got a spare on there, I just know it's just made it a lot heavier on the back end.
Yeah, yeah.
So as a result of that, it doesn't work quite like I want it to, and you have to slow down a little bit because of it.
Right.
On the really choppy stuff because of just how the car reacts. So that's how I run it.
But your car must be quite lightweight, isn't it? It's not a
quite
big
light.
car.
No, it's 2150, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, for 4400 style car, car on 40s and what have you, it's about the right weight. 2 ton, 2.2, that sort of thing is where you want to be.
Yeah.
So if you get, you want to be as little as possible.
Yeah, ideally, but you're just going to start losing strength then, aren't you?
Some of the big cars are up to sort of 2.5 ton, but you need a big car to spread that sort of weight around. I don't think you want to be at 2,500 kilos. I would rather be south of 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
But then sometimes you need a bit of weight because you can have a car that's too light and they just don't dig in the ground properly.
No. So are you running 2.0 shocks or 2.5 coilovers?
I'm on 2-inch coilovers on mine.
Yeah, and a bypass.
And then we have a 2.5-inch bypass.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the same way that Paul Glasper's gone, because Paul Glasper's got a 2.0 coilover and then a bypass.
I looked at what Eric Miller in the States was running, and Eric Miller in the States is running probably the most successful solid axle car package of anything that's been built in our sort of sport.
Yeah.
And he runs 2-inch coilover. He runs a much bigger bypass, but he runs a 2-inch coilover. Essentially, all that needs to do is hold the car up. The coilovers just need to hold the car up if you've got.
It's just a spring carrier, really.
It's
an expensive spring carrier, isn't it?
So why have huge, great big heavy springs and massive, great big shocks if you've got a bypass shock absorber to do all the damping?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got 2.5-inch dampers on mine. I think Jim's probably got 3.5 on Bad Penny. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But and they obviously just get bigger and bigger, but. I think if you're not running a bypass, you need a 2.5-inch coilover. That's definitely that's generally the rule.
Yeah.
Most people who don't run a bypass run a 2.5-inch.
The 2.5 coilovers, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which is obviously what we've got here. This car got a 2.5. So here we go. So it's the Farrier boys back.
So Team Farrier back in. They've done their first lap.
They've been having a great time.
Ryan and Anthony, yeah. So it's their sort of second car, their speed car.
I can hear a side-by-side coming as well. It's just been chasing them in. Yeah, so a TD5 in this car. So I think that's a 110-inch wheelbase car.
Yeah, it's quite long, isn't it?
Their lockdown build. They were building that in lockdown. Building pretty much all themselves, the two of them. I think there was a couple of bits of it that was donated for a previous car.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We've got side-by-side coming in. So we've got Shabs coming in. Shabs looks like I thought he might have a front punch in him, but no, I think he's all good.
Back out on the course, so there might be a problem out somewhere in Queensland to go back out on the course.
So that's Shabs back. He was the third of the side-by-sides, and he's the first of them to be back in. So that means that there's a possibility that Paul Rowlands and Simon Ward might have had issues then.
Yeah, very, very good possibility. Let's hope it's nothing too major.
Yeah.
But
they were going really well, so it'd be nice if they don't.
I think a lot of people have been going really well, to be honest with you. I haven't really seen many people that are not going well. I think everyone's loving it out there. They've all been really going well. Shabs is pretty much in love with this side-by-side car. I think he's pretty sold on it, isn't he?
Yeah, I had a chat with him yesterday and sort of said, how does it compare to the 4400 car? And he said he wish he knew known about side-by-sides in the beginning, because he wouldn't have bothered building a big car.
I've structured a phrase very similar to that myself, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people have, because they're not massively expensive compared to building a big V8 sort of 40-inch tyre car. They generally work pretty well out of the box. They soak up the ground so well.
Yeah.
They're great fun.
They're nice and small and light. You don't need a huge trailer.
The fuel economy is reportedly a lot better than a big V8.
Yeah. You don't need a big workshop. They fit in a reasonably sensible sized garage. And anything you break, I think you're probably not the first person to break it. So someone else has
for sure
broken it and made a stronger version.
With everything, like you say, there's all these upgrades that come out as well. So many people sort of develop different bits that work or that don't work. So yeah, you get that with it as well. So that, they're great. And yeah, Shabs is certainly loving it. I know he had a torrent of bad luck in his old car. One thing after the other. And he seems to be sort of getting the grips with it now. So
Martin Cole in. Shabs going back out for lap 2. Martin Cole coming in. So what's that? 5-6 cars gone out on the second lap? Maybe one or two more.
Yeah,
with Seamus and
fast car back here. If that's Jim, I'd be massively.
That's Mark Dean.
Mark Dean back. So Mark Dean still held that. Now obviously Mark Dean went out just before Jim, so he's got a minute on Jim off the start line. So I would expect very, very quickly to hear Jim come back in. Now Mark's high fives going on in the cab there, lots of smiles and banter going on with Mark and the co-driver, so that's good news. I think they've had a really, really good run. I was looking at the times earlier. Mark's been down in the 11 minutes as well,
right,
on lap time, so we know Mark can drive.
And again, he seems to have got that car sorted. Big rebuild sort of over the winter.
Yeah.
And he seems to have,
He's going to give themselves a breather. I think they're going to have a drink of water, just turn the engine off and let it cool down. They've obviously worked it really hard.
Well, that's their 2 laps done, isn't it? They've only got 2 laps.
Oh, is it 2 laps now? Is it?
Only 2 laps tonight, as far as I know. So that should be them done for the evening.
Yeah, so that's good to see.
Well, the Farrier guys in front of us, they've got the bonnet up. They're just trying to get a bit of air in there, maybe.
So they've only done the 1 lap at the moment.
They're ready. They've still got another lap to go. Yeah, they've just pulled over.
So there you go for the evening session. Mark Dean is home first, with the 2 laps being done first out of any other car. I don't know that Mark started first. I'm sure James must have started first, did he? Or do we not know?
I think Mark was about 3rd off the line. I think 3rd or 4th.
So he's done some overtaking. He's come on first.
Yeah. So
I'm expecting to see Jim at any minute.
So I would have thought Jim will probably be the next one. He must have been a minute or 3 behind Mark.
He literally left the line a minute after Mark. So we've got a back marker. This car's just finishing its first lap. We've got another car in the woods that I can see the silhouette of another car, but it doesn't sound like Jim. It's far too quiet. Who's this? Is that Mike Kerr?
Yeah, it looks like Mike Kerr, isn't it?
So well done, Mike. Mike's got his first lap in. Again, see TD5 car.
Yeah.
Basically
an out-of-the-box winch challenge car, isn't it?
It's a car, really, that can put a bit of speed, it's got a bit of suspension on it, a bit of handling. Yeah, it's a very good all-round car.
Single coil over, hydraulic bump stops, like an anti-roll bar on the back. So it's...
Yeah, Mike's good to go. I think Mike's good to go. I think he just wants to get and chop on.
I think he wants to get round and start his second lap.
Looks like he wants to get on with it.
And we haven't had a car off the line for a few minutes, so whoever goes now should have a bit of sort of hopefully dust-free.
This is it. The gamble is whether you've caught in the back markers. Now, Mark may...
So we have had 2.
Overtaken some back markers.
Yeah, we've had 2 cars on their first lap in between Mark Dean and Jim, so that might have not fallen quite right for Jim. He might be in some dust. Can't see any more. Oh no, we've got some lights coming.
Oh yeah, so we've got another car coming now in the last bit of the section. Now it's moving quite quickly. Sounds V8. That pretty much sounds like Jim.
That's going to be Jim.
Yeah, I'd argue.
Yeah,
that's Jim.
So that looks. So we think probably Jim's coming in.
Well,
So what's that?
I think he must have lost a bit of time on Mark there. I'm sure Mark.
3 or 4 minutes. I would have thought Mark's been in.
I think the first lap Jim had the quicker of the
Yeah.
two.
But then he did leave a bit of a gap to Mark, didn't he? So maybe that's about the same gap.
Yeah. So there we go. So they've got their 2 laps. It's going to be interesting now. I don't know what the standings were before
No.
this heat.
I think Jim had a minute or 2 lead, I think. So I would have said he's probably kept most of that.
So there you go. So they're like, what are we on, an 8 or 9 kilometre course, is it? 10 kilometres, something like that? 8, 9, 10?
Nearly 10, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
We're at nigh on 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes, something like that for a lap. So yeah, it's impressive stuff. I think these cars are getting around there in that time in this heat. And it is an arduous course out there. There's no two ways. I mean, that first kilometre up to the top of the hill there is one hell of a grind.
It's pretty much all just uphill all the way, isn't it?
Uphill. I mean, you generally, you uphill here to the corner. You've got a right-hand turn, which is downhill for probably, I don't know, 30, 40 metres, something like that. Then you turn left at the bottom, and then it's probably 3/4 of a kilometre right onto the top to the 1K marker.
Just pulling uphill
Just
all the time.
Uphill, and it is steep and hard work. I mean, it's as much as you can do to get the car to pull second gear up there.
Yeah.
It's a big hill.
So no wonder we've had some overheating issues and a head gasket gone and bits and pieces.
The temperature gauge before you've done a lap, and it's at 65, 70 degrees. You get to the 1K mark, and we're right up there, 95, 100 degrees straight away. You know, it heats it up. I mean, it's so hot as well. So
it's ridiculous. I mean, the ambient temperature doesn't help at all, does it?
No, I mean, it's certainly the hottest I've ever raced in. The hottest weather I've raced in, for sure.
So we got someone else coming towards. We got 2 cars, by the looks of it, coming to the finish.
Certainly, what James Eyre was saying earlier. Obviously, this is
so that's James Eyre's caught someone up. They've just got past. I think it might have been the Lemons he got past, but that's James Eyre and Mike Brown coming in to finish their second lap.
Now James Eyre obviously started a minute behind Jim.
Yeah.
And he's come in pretty much now.
Pretty much a minute behind Jim. Yeah. So he's blasted through the finish line.
So that's very good. He's putting a good lap there as well. Be stoked with that.
So that's a good solid lap for them.
Yeah, James and Mike would be probably stoked with that. I think they'd be really happy with how their weekend's been going.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Great running qualifying.
Yeah, won the prologue. Yeah, so it's the Lemons. So the Lemons have finished their first lap.
I think they've done a head gasket as well. Didn't they change it? Have they changed a head gasket?
No, that's their other sort of sister team.
Oh, is it?
So that's Winch and the Prayer. Yeah, the sort of purpley car. They've done a head gasket.
So the Lemons have got around there over the moon with that.
So they've done, I think that's their first lap they've done. Are they going to come in for the second? Yeah, they're coming in for their second. Another car just coming down to the finish.
Have a quick chat with the Lemons, maybe. Oh, no, go. Hello, Lemon. Hello. How are you doing, guys? Yeah, we're doing well. That's a really good lap. That's good. No problem. We're going to let someone overtake you guys.
Okay, all good. So that's the Lemons going out again, another team that have actually got 2 cars. They've got a
sort of an Ultra 4 spec car and this car, which they consider a bit more of a winch challenge car. But they each, the co-driver and the driver, have a car each, so they just they sort of swap for events.
Well, they're certainly loving it. They love it all the time, to be honest with you. They love all the events. So
Yeah,
they love all the races.
exactly. Whichever they're in, they seem to enjoy themselves. Both cars running our suspension, which is nice. The big car running 2.5s. This one runs 2.0s.
Right,
So
yeah. Oh yeah, because obviously then James and Mike are running on
James
Terra Firma
Mike
as
on
well,
our
aren't they?
on Terra Firma
So
factory
there you
racing
go.
stuff.
So obviously we've got Jim's just come in and done a
Yeah.
lap with what was he, Jim Fox
Jim's
Factory
on
or something
Fox and
like that, with
so
Fox Factory support, and James has come in and he's pretty much done the same time. So obviously some of that gear must be working for James.
exactly,
Those
yeah.
two
So
races
they're running our 2.5 dual adjustable coilovers, triple bypass and quad bypass dampers.
Oh really?
Yeah, and
some serious stuff there.
so yeah, we had those specially made for them. So so that was all good. So it's nice to see them. So they won the prologue as well. So it was nice to have that stuff on the.
They did really well in their last event as well, actually, at the prologue as well.
Exactly, yeah. So
yeah.
there's some speed in that car. I just need to. They seem to be sort of airing out the niggles, so which is good. So that's Key back in. That's Key's second lap.
Second lap. He's got 2 laps in nicely. Yeah.
So
well
again,
done.
that should be them done for the evening.
And he left after Seamus, and he must have taken Seamus in because Seamus hasn't come back yet.
Right.
So Key's obviously picked up a place on Seamus there.
Yeah. So Seamus just got in front of him, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's caught and overtaken Seamus.
He's pulled a place on him there, which is good to see.
But then again, Seamus's car again is pretty much a winch challenge car, really, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah.
Running portals and
portal axle, automatic TD5, just basic coilovers, 2.5-inch coilovers, hydro steer, but very much a winch challenge car.
Yeah,
which is generally what Seamus has always been doing.
Exactly, that's what he's it's what he's known for, isn't it?
Certainly likes the faster stuff. He's always done well at the 150. The Super Sunday at Extremes has always been right up his alley.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tragedy, poor old Seamus never won.
Yeah.
But after 10 years of trying,
not for one to try, and yeah.
One of the only competitors who driven in all 10.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one who driven in all 10.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Ed had been to all 10, and
Ed
had competed
or co-driven
at all
10, and Seamus was the only driver for all 10.
Yeah.
But obviously he's not very good because he never won it.
No.
So no, I can say that. Me and Seamus are great friends.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. So he's done well there.
A slightly enthusiastic finish.
Yeah, for a winch challenge spec car, it does go really well.
Yeah.
Actually, that car.
It's a well-sorted car, and it's a well-driven car.
James Sunderland builds a lovely car. And Seamus got him to build that car for him. It's got a lot of the characteristics of his previous cars as well. It looks very similar. They've all been named Potato, so that's Potato 3 now.
He's on the 3, is he?
Yeah.
It's quite a low car as well, isn't it? Most winch challenge cars tend to sit up quite high, don't they? But
because of the portals, you can get the prop shafts really high. So
yeah.
It's really flat bellied. It's a low roof. He sits really quite low in the car.
Yeah.
It's so sleek.
It really helps with centre of gravity and stuff, doesn't it?
For a winch challenge car, it's such a good one.
Yeah.
It really is such a good one.
Considering he's on 40-inch tyres, with portals, it's quite a low car.
It's a very, very clever car. You get and look around it, and it's not very, it's sort of black and purple, so it doesn't stand out.
No.
Like it's not a really bright, flary looking car. But when you get and have a good look around it, it is very, very clever. So anyway, we've got another car coming back now. It's certainly
another one.
Diesel. I'm going to shout it's a diesel. Is it Farriers? I can't see from here. Sun's just starting.
So let's just see who this is coming in.
Oh great, these guys have done that's their second lap.
I think it is, yeah.
So everyone's pretty much.
I'm not quite sure who it is, but they're running air shocks, which is a bit of something a little bit different. Yeah, again a winch challenge sort of base car running our factory race, Terra Firma factory racing air shocks. Another one running our stuff. So I think they've handed their key tags in.
So I'm guessing pretty much everyone. So Paul Rowlands is on course, and he's been on course. He hasn't come back.
No, they haven't come back, Simon Ward hasn't come back in either. So
he has been back.
He's back. Has he done 2 or 3?
He went back out. He's not come back yet.
Right.
So the cyber sides must be really struggling.
Yeah. So maybe now that the course is cutting up a bit, they're struggling a bit.
The Lemons just said to us, obviously, that the winch pull was really, really hard, and they're having to winch every time now on that.
Right.
With the small tyres.
And they're on small tyres, aren't
so
they? That's the trouble.
Sides are going to be having the same dynamics.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this looks interesting. This looks like Elsa.
Oh, Elsa's going to give it a whirl.
Is Elsa coming to give it a whirl? No, she is. We've got a driver and a co-driver. Oh no, they're pulling over. Going to get a key tag.
So it seems to have gone a little bit quiet, so I think we're probably...
This could play well for Elsa, because she's going to have a pretty clear runner. So hopefully she's not really going to get stuck in too much traffic. She's not going to have too much dust. A lot of the guys have finished, so there's nothing wrong with coming out now. You don't need to start all together.
No, exactly.
So, yeah, I know they've had a lot of overheating problems. She had a little bit of a gearbox problem, I think, earlier on.
Yeah, I think they broke a gearbox mount, she said, on the
it.
prologue. So, yeah, it's good to see them getting back out.
Elsa and Holly in there. There's an all-girl team. All the way down from Scotland.
So yeah, they need some seat time after driving all that way down.
She's been on it this year, Elsa. She's done so many events.
Yeah, I've seen her at a lot of events, which is nice.
So she's really on it. And I mean, absolutely loving their motorsport, which is great to see.
So I thought I'd swatch the camera around. We've been told to try and wrap this up a little bit.
Are we?
So I think we've been talking too much.
We could just wrap it in a way.
Yeah. So we are live at 8:15 tomorrow morning.
Great.
And I think for Saturday at Torr.
I'm not sure if I can get up for 8:15 after having as much cider.
Really?
You've still got the drink.
No, that's it. Now you're officially back on the media team now.
No, it's great. It's great to have been here. It's been a great day today. I hope everyone at home's enjoyed what the media team and everyone have put on for you to see. The racing's great. It's all good. Back tomorrow, 8:15.
8:15 tomorrow morning. We're live. So yeah, everything fantastic. Thank you very much for tuning in. Keep liking and sharing the page. Send us any comments, any questions, and we'll answer them tomorrow. So yeah, from us at Torr, thank you very much, and good evening.
See you guys. That was a bit fucking